old currency.
The New World Order.
Those are the roots of trouble.
I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice, tumbling down the rabbit hole. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there, like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill, the story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill, you stay in Wonderland, and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. All I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
For we are opposed around the world by a monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly efficient machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are buried, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned, no rumor is printed, no secret is revealed. But I am asking your help in the tremendous task of informing and alerting the American people.
And now, welcome to another episode of Down the Rabbit Hole. Here's your host from federaljack.com. It's Popeye.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live edition. Today is November 4th, 2012. And instead of going over conspiracies or news or me ranting on things, I decided to dedicate today's show to actually getting the word out about the help that people need up north because they got just demolished in this hurricane. And I grew up north. You know, you can take the boy out of Jersey, but you can't take the Jersey out of the boy. And a lot of the places in the Jersey Shore that are decimated, I grew up, fishing on some of those piers or going and hanging out when I was a kid. So, I feel the people's pain. I can understand, how they feel. And looking into this, the other day I went off about infotainment and everything else. And I talked about the reality of the situation as opposed to what people are putting out there just to sell DVDs. And I urged everybody to get involved and help out. And, donate time, money, food, supplies, whatever else they could find. And you know what? That's actually happening now. And that's what I want to get into today. I want to, curb all the other stuff, the conspiracy end of anything, put all that aside and get into the reality of the situation on the ground so that hopefully we can funnel more help to the people that need it. And to do this with me today and to go over the list of the different charities and, to talk about what's really going on in Staten Island. I have two lovely ladies that have given me their time and have been willing to come on the air and talk to everybody. So I want to introduce them. First up, everybody knows Tracy. She's been on the broadcast before a few times, and she's got her own radio show now, Ragamuffin Radio. Say hi, Tracy.
From yours.
You spawned it from that idea, right?
Yeah.
That's awesome. I'm glad you guys took the idea and ran with it.
Yep.
Awesome. And joining me tonight as well is Kelley. Kelley, say hello.
Hi, everyone.
And Kelly's actually boots on the ground at pretty much ground zero for this event and the aftermath. She's out in Staten Island, and she's, got information that I'm going to let her, tell you the reality on the ground, what's going on there in a minute. And it's stuff that you're not going to hear on the mainstream because they're telling you some people are without power, but everything's hunky-dory. I mean, the other day they were talking about having the marathon. The reality of this situation is much different. So I want to get into that first because not many people realize Staten Island got nailed. So, Kelley, what's the what's the reality of the situation on the ground right now where you're standing as I talk to you? If you look around you, what do you see?
Hold on. Well, besides the car alarm going off that I'm sitting in, I mean, most of the houses over here are just completely destroyed. I'm in Newport Beach, which is a neighborhood over from where my boyfriend's family lives, Christian and Tina Downer. And it's crazy. I mean, they had zones set up. Zone A was your mandatory evacuation. They were most likely to be flooded. Those are the people that are on the water, really close waterfront beach homes within a half a mile of the water. Where I'm standing is Zone B, and they were in danger of some flooding. And these houses got it just as bad as if they were waterfront beach homes. I mean, it was like a mini tsunami. The surge that came in was about 17 feet. And it's insane. Like, that's the only devastating, insane, really the two words that I've been hearing constantly. So I don't know. I mean, if you looked at a map of Staten Island and you saw the Verrazano Bridge and the Outer Bridge crossing, there's a road that runs along the bottom of it. It's called Highland Boulevard from end to end. Anything below Highland Boulevard is pretty much, like, devastated. And that's a huge, huge area. And not only is it a huge area, but it's in New York. So a lot of it is just really population dense.
Yeah, it's heavily populated because those houses are close. Yeah. They're like row houses, right?
Huge. And, the two areas, the areas closer to the Verrazano Bridge on the Brooklyn side are all bungalows. And they're all old bungalows because it used to be like a mini Coney Island over there in the 20s to the 50s. And so all these bungalows are still there from then, and people have these bungalows in their family for generations, and what they do is they rent them. And so now it's large renter communities of blue-collar workers and people who aren't, exactly wealthy. And there's also a lot of undocumented workers. We spoke to the building department the other day, and actually Tina did, and they were saying how they're walking into houses and bungalows, and there's undocumented workers and large Mexican population where these people didn't have anywhere to go, and they live 30 people in a home, and they're walking in and they're finding all of these, like, 30 people in each bungalow not alive, like, passed away.
Oh wow!
And
so they're finding
reporting any of this.
They're finding houses filled with dead people, and I'm sure, like you just said,
undocumented workers, so they don't know who they are. They can't identify
and
them.
I guarantee you they're not going to put them on the official numbers list if they're undocumented workers.
No. And, they're saying, like, 19 from Staten Island as of now, but there's 11 on the block that we're working on now. On Tina's block, there's been 11. 2 bodies washed up in her backyard. Like, it's 11. And then on our friend's block, there's 7. So right there, that's 18 that, like, we know have been found. We were at a wake last night for a father and son that, there was their neighbors for 20 years. So it's like, it's just really crazy out here. And, we're working out here, and Red Cross is coming and handing us cups of hot chocolate. It's just like, where's all this money going to, But we have people, neighborhood people from other side of the island, people from Jersey, Wisconsin, Occupy Wall Street, Brooklyn, Forest Hills, Queens, like, people from Manhattan coming down and just, they're bringing stuff in that they picked up at the stores. And it's just people coming together. It's really community people, just people with no organization behind them. And they're coming in and they're helping us. And we started seeing, a few days ago, about 2 days after the storm, Halloween, day after Halloween, just random people coming down the block. And now today, it's like a freaking block party. There's just so many people, and it's just like we see one Red Cross truck circling with hot chocolate and coffee. And
yeah, I told people the other day not to donate to the Red Cross on air. I said, if you're going to donate money, you're better off finding a local charity and donating money to the charity itself, and that'll actually people.
It's great. And, we started, Christian and I started in behalf of, his neighborhood, Staten Island Relief.org. And we just received an overwhelming amount of, response and donations. And we're overwhelmed with it. On top of that, then we're in front of the house and we just have all these random people giving us stuff. So it's just like, we've been driving around because there's lots of pockets on the South Shore that are kind of isolated. And people don't know to go there. People from Wisconsin would never think, they don't know Staten Island like we do. So we've been going today, just now actually. We were just down in the area. We were delivering food and water to an elderly man, and I mean, he hasn't eaten, and he's paying for help, and he can't even afford it, and he's paying people to help him. And I'm like, go down to where we are, get volunteers. People are doing this for free. We gave the guy next door to him shovels and rakes, and the guy next door to him was going to help him clean. And it's just like, these people, they didn't even know help was here. Like, Red Cross, they'd never seen Red Cross or FEMA. They had no clue. These people still don't have power or internet, so they're out of touch with reality right now. Plus, most of them are older, so they wouldn't know where to start looking or calling. So
most of them probably wouldn't have any idea anyway as what to do. If the phone lines are down and the power's out, that's it. Their lifelines are cut off. I'm going to cut us off because we got a break sneaking up on us. When we get back on the other side of the break, I want to show an example of who were the real first responders to this tragedy, and you'll be surprised. We'll be right back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Kelly, you were saying before we came on air, you were telling me something very interesting, and I alluded to it during the break, or going into break, I should say. And what that was you were telling me who the first responders were to this tragedy and to, at the aftermath. It was Occupy Wall Street kids. It wasn't the government. It wasn't Bloomberg and his huge police state and everything else. It was the Occupy Wall Street kids. And then you told me something interesting about Staten Island, and that in fact was just a large portion of a certain individual there. Well, go ahead and you tell the story. I'll give you the floor. Go ahead. Or maybe I lost her. Let me double check.
She's on her cell phone.
Yeah, you know what? We might have lost her because I know out there they have no...
Guys?
Oh, there she is. She's back. Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I lost service a little bit. I had to run off into another section.
No, that's what we figured. I was telling people what you told me about the large population of NYPD officers on Staten Island that live there. They personally, that's where their residence is. And now it's kind of funny how the same people who beat the crap out of them on maybe 4 or 5 months ago are now being rescued by Occupy Wall Street. So I just think it goes to show the humanity and who the real problem is.
Yeah, I mean, so it was like 2 days after. Sorry, I'm a little distracted. There's a lot going on right now. So if I start talking about something that's not relevant.
I know you're right there in the midst of it, so don't know.
Yeah. So anyway, we were down there. There was not a lot of people. We haven't seen Red Cross. We haven't seen FEMA. There was just a few kids from the other neighborhoods coming down, bringing us water and stuff. And, we had just started taking a lot of the stuff out of the house that was ruined. And next thing I know, I seen these guys come down, and it kind of looked like hippies, and they had like a Wisconsin or Wyoming license plate. I was like, "Are you guys Occupy Wall Street?" And they were like, "Yeah, Occupy Sandy." And they were helping the family at the corner of the block, and the family is actually the guy's a NYPD detective, and he's been a NYPD detective for like 25, 30 years, something like that. And here, these kids are helping him, and I don't know his view on Occupy Wall Street, but these people are helping his family, and it's crazy because it's like you have Occupy Wall Street helping the same guys that are beating the shit out of them when they're at Zuccotti Park.
Yep.
I just have to say, one quick thing. I am just so happy to hear that you guys are finally getting, an influx of volunteers. This is what humanity is all about. This is what we're here for, to help each other in community. And, just hearing you talk about that is making me feel so much better, because for days now I've been so depressed that, you guys aren't getting what you need down there. So I'm really glad to hear that. I know a bunch of people came down from upstate New York, and people came up from Philly as well today to help you guys out.
Oh, people are coming from all over. I mean, I've been seeing people from all over the country. There's people from Detroit, California, Con Ed workers and gas and electric workers from all over the country coming and is putting our power back on. I mean, most of Staten Island is in power now, except for the areas that were, affected. So it's crazy. So many people are helping us.
Are you still having a lot of problems with looting and things like that?
It's calmed down a lot because most of the cops have set up checkpoints in the area that are pretty much desolate now because nobody could live in their homes. So they're not really allowing people down there in cars that don't live in the neighborhood.
I think it's a perfect example of how community coming together makes government irrelevant.
Yeah,
Without
it definitely is. I mean, the sanitation workers, firefighters, NYPD, they're doing a great job. I mean, I just saw a longtime family friend, who is Department of Sanitation, and he was asked today. He was asked to work a double, get paid double time and a half, And he said no, because they were going to send him into another borough and another area. And he was like, no, I want to help out my community. So now he's working with the Department of Sanitation in his uniform for free so he can work in his neighborhood to clean it up. I mean, it's just things like that. There's off-duty cops that are working to direct traffic and keep people's blocks safe. So, I mean, it's really great to see that, too.
What are they doing about the people, like, housing-wise? I'm not expecting the government to do anything at all, but have they even come into the communities with any sort of plan, or are you guys trying to figure that out on your own?
There's a combination of that going on right now. So with StatenIslandRelief.org, we've actually had a few people contact us that have there's a large population of apartments and semi-attached and two-family homes out here. So there's a few people that have vacant apartments and homes that are offering to us because they know we're in the neighborhood. They know we've been affected by it. So they're saying, do you know any family and friends that need a place to stay? So there is a lot of that going on, a lot of family and friends taking people in. But there's two high schools, Susan Wagner and Tottenville. Tottenville is actually the largest high school in the 5 boroughs. And they're centers right now. They're shelters and warming centers. And I don't even know what's going to happen with these kids going to school because they can't go to school now. There's kids in Tottenville High School. I think they're being displaced into all the different other high schools on the island. So now all the high schools on the island are going to have 50, 60 kids in a class.
According to Bloomberg, school's going to start on Monday.
They close school on Long Island here. Long Island schools are closed through Wednesday. On Long Island here where I live.
Yeah, I haven't even checked on that because, I'm not in school, so I don't know. But I have to ask Chris's sister. She's 16 and she goes to Tottenville, and she said that she's like, I don't know where I'm going to go to school. So, because that whole school is packed with families. I think it's 500 families in Tottenville High School right now, and that's a student body of over 5,000 kids that have to be displaced into other high schools that are already overpopulated.
This is going to have everlasting effects. I'm willing to bet that this school year is going to have to be altered time-wise. The kids are probably going to have a short summer.
I mean, and there's so many kids that have been affected by this, from, elementary age to college age that lost everything, lost all their school supplies, their computers, their books, their everything, just the clothes we even go to school with. I mean, one of the deans, the assistant principals came to the house to help us, and Christian's little sister was actually a student of his, and he's from one of the middle schools on the island, and he's on the South Shore that's been affected, and his school is the only one that's structurally sound to operate, the only middle school on this side of the island. So there's 3 middle schools, IS-7, IS-2, and IS-75, that are structurally damaged and can't open as of right now. So they're preparing to have classes of 50 kids too, and it's chaos right now, really.
Yeah, this is going to have everlasting effects up there. I hope this urges people, or puts the urge in people to look into being a little more prepared up there next time.
Yeah, it's a great thing to see. Like, we were prepared, honestly, because we're aware of a lot of things, and we got, the family was out of there. Tina did a great job at, gathering her family and her things out of there and preparing our house for this. But a lot of people in the neighborhood aren't prepared. A lot of people on Staten Island weren't prepared, and the people we've talked to, they were like, well, now we know to have extra gas because there's brawls happening at the gas stations and, have extra food, at least a supply of 7 days of water and food, and just extra clothes somewhere else. It's just really good to see people are, like, awakening in the sense of, like, we can't be so self-reliant on daily conveniences.
Yeah, exactly. And it's funny because I was having this conversation before I called you guys up with 2 friends of mine. And we were talking about how, if you're prepared, the government says you're a terrorist. The federal government will say you're a terrorist if you're prepared. Yet, like, I live in Florida, and in Florida, the state government tells you should have a minimum of a 2-week supply of food, water, medication, and anything else you need in case a hurricane comes through, because you might not have power back right away. Make sure you have...
Yeah, because you guys are more susceptible.
Yeah. Well, see, that's why I knew what was going to happen when this storm hit up there, because I grew up there, and living down here, I was like, they're just not prepared.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and
it's like watching a train wreck and you can't do anything.
Yeah, the infrastructure's not built to withstand that either.
No, not at all. None of these houses were built to withstand this. None of them. That's why they're all like a house of cards. They're all falling down on top of each other.
Yeah, and they're all wood frame structures and everything else. I'm going to cut us off. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Kelley, I believe, before we get into anything, I believe you had somebody that wanted to give himself a shout-out standing near you.
Yeah, actually, Danny Pinzella is here refueling our gas because we were about to run out. Danny, you have anything to say?
Go online. There's plenty of links people are posting up. Don't donate to the Red Cross. Donate directly to the families that need help. I know Kelley on her Facebook page, and I'm sure you guys can share that with everybody in Radio Land. Please donate. We need to get gas. We've got Mike Narr from We Are Change Pennsylvania bringing gas up so that we can provide people with gas. We're going to need more resources. So please donate anything you can. If you can't do anything else, if you can't make it to Staten Island or to Brooklyn or to one of the affected areas to help out physically, donate whatever you can, $5, $10, $20, whatever it is. And we're going to use that to buy gas, to keep these generators running, to keep heat on in the houses and lights and whatever people need. So thank you, everybody in Radio Land.
Thanks, Danny.
Yep, that's Danny, and as he's refueling our car. Thanks, Danny.
But you see, look, this is what I'm talking about. Like there's We Are Change guys down there.
Yeah,
there's
we have
Wall Street. There's Average Joe, and everybody's coming together and doing the right thing and taking care of business. And look how efficiently it's getting done compared to waiting for the government to do things.
Yeah, I mean, we might have to go bend a few rules, but we're getting it done.
Hey, you know what? Sometimes rules need to be broken in order to survive. That's just the way it is.
Of course.
You were saying that even the police down there are pretty much like F the Red Cross, because everybody now there realizes that donating money to the Red Cross is a waste, right?
Sorry.
The Red Cross is pretty much hated in the vicinity now.
Oh, hated. Like, I have neighbors. I mean, we have 2 trucks coming in from Michigan, and we were like, where the hell are we going to put this? So we went up the block to the church that Chris used to volunteer at when he was a kid, talking to pastor, and, the nun over there, and they're like, Red Cross, we hate Red Cross. And she was like, she didn't even want to say hate, but she was like, we'll never donate again. I was like, well, I was aware of this because I researched Haiti and how they treated the people in Haiti and where the money went. I was like, but, it's crazy how a disaster at home is showing people up here how Red Cross, like, where's their money going? To hot chocolate on the corner when you guys are, fishing for dead bodies in your basement?
Well, see, that's why I said right off the bat, do not donate to the Red Cross. Find a local charity. This is before as the storm was hitting, I was saying do not donate to the Red Cross, because the Red Cross was already out there going, you can text, whatever number to this number to donate $10. And I was like, that money doesn't go to anybody on the ground. If it would be one thing if the Red Cross was driving up with trucks filled with blankets or tents or constructing some sort of makeshift shelter or something, but they're not doing that for you guys at all.
No. They have had, there is one area that they set up on that they have stuff at, but it's one area in a field, but they're not delivering it to people. It's in a field, so the people have to come get it. And these people, their cars washed away 3 miles from their house, up the block. Their cars landed in people's homes. So people don't have cars. And if they do have a car, they probably don't have gas, because we just passed the gas station on the way to get gas from Danny, and there is a brawl going down. 5 huge guys just brawling it out in the middle of the gas station over gas at the pump. So it's people don't even have gas to get to the Red Cross relief area to get stuff. So it's the neighborhood people and Occupy Wall Street people are coming down and bringing it. And we had such a surplus of donations to us that we went to the areas that we know are little pockets isolated on the shore, and we just delivered food and water to an elderly man who can't even leave his house. So it's they do some stuff, but it's not working.
No, you guys are actually doing the work. The Red Cross should be out there actually doing those food and water deliveries. And here you are taking donations and going out and taking care of business. That's why I urge everybody to donate. What's the website that they can go to again to donate?
Oh, it is StatenIslandRelief.com, .org.
So it's StatenIslandRelief.org?
Yeah, StatenIslandRelief.org. And there's actually a Red Cross truck passing us right now. He's just asking if I want a hot chocolate. There's people shoveling out of their houses right now.
It just goes to show their inefficiency.
We should get the Red Cross guy on the show.
Yeah, my boyfriend Christian, he went up to them yesterday, and with gas mask on and everything, and he was like, "So, do you guys have water? And they gave him water, and he's like, "All right, so do you have gloves? Anything like Band-Aids, first aid kits?" And they're like, "No." Like, "Oh, okay."
Oh my God, what a waste of space.
So, what do they have? A truck filled with hot chocolate?
It's hot chocolate soup, water, coffee. Stuff like that, basically.
Yeah, because, people need that coffee, that caffeine to energize them while they shovel and break down sheetrock. That's really helpful. It's good for...
Yeah, meanwhile, there's coffee, you even have Dunkin' Donuts setting up, stations at the corner of the block. It's like, go get Dunkin' Donuts. Better.
Yeah, I just can't believe, no blanket. Well, I shouldn't say I can't believe I can. I've experienced the Red Cross myself going through disasters and stuff, so I know how useless they are.
Yeah, it's rough, but the community's coming together, and it's a really amazing thing to see, especially in New York when, most of the time people are really cold to each other and they don't even look at each other on the subway or, going to work. And to come together like this and see New Yorkers, really just coming together, it's a great thing because it just doesn't happen every day out here, People don't say hi to their neighbors like you do in Florida and stuff.
You were saying how surreal it was to see some of the marathon runners running up and down, literally running supplies back and forth.
Yeah, I actually picked up 2 marathon runners today and brought them to my friend's house. She's a single mother and she lost everything, and she couldn't bring out her mattress and stuff. So they were literally in their little, those little tiny short bikini bottoms that they wear and their little jersey tank tops with the numbers. They had their outfit on that they were running in, and they were running 24 packs of water back and forth to people, and they hopped in the car, and I brought them to my friend's house, and they helped her out immensely because she was just breaking down. She didn't know where to start, and they were just like, "All right, come on, we'll get this done." So it was really surreal to see that. Everything is surreal out here right now. It's like an emotional roller coaster.
I would imagine it would be. I've lived through things like that, so I have an understanding. And being from up there, I understand. No one could understand better than you because you're ground zero. So you're going to go through the emotional roller coaster. You guys have a lot of rebuilding to do. Do you know if they're going to let you guys back in to the area anytime soon to start cleaning the houses out and fixing things, or no?
Yeah, we are in the neighborhoods. We are cleaning up. A lot of houses are condemned, so they're not letting us in, which, these houses are, if you walk in them, you're going to fall to the floor. So there's a lot of houses that are condemned. There's a lot of houses that are okay to go into and clean, and there's a lot of houses where you have to be present with the homeowner. So it depends. We think certain areas, on one block alone, I would say probably 40% of the houses are condemned, and another 30% are, you need to be with the homeowner. So they're not exactly condemned, but they're not okay to go in. So it's aren't we just they might just condemn a whole freaking neighborhood. We don't know what they're going to do with that. We're not up to that point, I don't think, yet.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to let you guys have, the citizens have some sort of say or not, because, eventually, you would hope that they would, if the houses are condemned, then they somehow, whatever, the homeowner gets whatever reimbursement or whatever, but the point is, you'll hope that they let you rebuild on that chunk of property and don't pull some sort of, we don't want you to, we don't want you to build here Agenda 21 type crap.
Well, that's what we're thinking is going to happen to a lot of communities, especially the Oakwood Beach community where, Christian's house is. They're surrounded by, one side is government park property and the other side is DEP. So it's, Department of Environmental Protection. And there's about 5 blocks of a little community within that that's kind of isolated. And that's where Tina is. And we're not sure. We were thinking possibly that they might just buy it out because there's just government property on either side of them. And most of the houses are condemned as it is. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen. Some of the people don't even want to go back to their homes. The seawall, too, is just, they've been fighting to have a better protection barrier from the sea, and they've been fighting for that for a really long time, since 1992 when there was a nor'easter there. And they gave them some protection of a burn, which is now completely gone. So there is absolutely no protection from the sea right now. And we're preparing for another nor'easter that's supposed to hit on Wednesday. So people are like,
good.
so people are thinking, Well, when they do let us in to rebuild, if they do, how the hell are we going to rebuild our freaking homes if we have no protection from the sea? So this can happen again after we spend all of our money or insurance money or whatever.
It's like it urges them to sell out. That sucks. We're going to get cut off by the break. Kelly, thank you so much for coming on. Ladies and gentlemen, StatenIslandRelief.org. Go help out. We're going to break.
Thank you for having me.
Anytime. Thank you for coming on. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Popeye. Bye, Tracy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Final segment of the first hour of tonight's broadcast. And I want to thank Tracy for hanging out. Tracy, thank you so much for chilling and coming on last minute because I messaged you very late last night. I was like, do you want to come on tomorrow?
No problem. It's all good. I just appreciate everybody reaching out and getting this message out there. This is, to me, this is, the most important thing that we can do. People ask for money for political stuff, and they ask for money for, random things, and they do money bombs. This should be if you've never given money before, you should give money to this cause. It's just so important.
I agree. It really is. I mean, this isn't a joke. This isn't some scheme to sell DVDs or anything like that, or get fear pumped out there. I mean, this is just the way it is. There's devastation in certain areas, and it needs to get addressed. The government's not going to address it, and if they do eventually address it, it'll be with paperwork and red tape. It won't be with any real help. I mean, you heard Kelly. The Red Cross guy was driving by while she was on with us, and he was like, "Do you want hot chocolate?"
Yeah, thanks.
What about the blankets? At the very least, how about bringing blankets out, those wool blankets?
This is the difference, okay? I'm on Long Island, so I felt the effects of this storm as well. I live on the North Shore of Long Island in Huntington, right on the not right. I'm like a mile and a half, 2 miles from the Sound and from the bay. And my husband went out to get gas because we had gotten gas, but it only lasts for so long when you're trying to drive around and get supplies and things that you might not have. And he was online at 6 in the morning, and one of the guys who lived a couple blocks away was walking down the line of gas, people waiting for gas, giving out blankets and stuff like that. Because people are shutting their cars off because they've got no gas, and they don't know, it took them 6 hours to fill up. They ran out of gas mid-line. They said they were getting a delivery at some point today, and so he just decided to stick it out because we didn't have a clue when we'd be able to get it. I mean, very few and far between as far as gas goes here. So people do things out of the goodness of their hearts. People, there's still faith in humanity, which is good. I like seeing that.
I think it is good. I think it's awesome that people are being exposed to humanity, and I mean literally. I asked the other day on air, throw humanity, not your cash, at the problem, and it's exactly what's happening. People are actually getting up, and I mean, like you said, there's people coming down from northern New York state area. And where else? Jersey?
Philly.
Did you say Philly? Yeah, that's a haul. That's a pretty long ride to come up from Philly to go all the way into New York. So, to all the people that did that, you guys are awesome. They're a shining example of the way things should be handled. These guys are like, hey, this is effed up. These people need help. The government ain't doing nothing. We'll step up to the plate, and they go and take care of business and get it done. Boom. Look, We Are Change is down there working with Occupy Wall Street, helping out the police, who are usually harassing both groups. Yep.
It's amazing what you put aside, You put aside some stuff when you need the help, and it's really, I'm glad I heard that from her tonight because I had been, speaking with Tina on and off over the past few days, and when I started my chip-in on Friday, I was just like, nobody's done this yet? What's going on here? So I started my chip-in, started reaching out to people to plug it, and I've got almost $800 in there from about 28, 30 people that have donated, and I want to thank everybody that's donated to that chip-in, and I'm just going to pool this chip-in with the Staten Island Relief chip-in. I think that's the smartest way to go about it. But the link to the chip-in is www.chipin.com / send us to Tampa / Oakwood-Beach rescue-fund. And it says send us to Tampa because it's the same chip-in I used when I was trying to get down there as a delegate. But this doesn't mean anything. It just means that I couldn't change that URL.
No, that's fine. You know what? I'm going to have you send me that so I can post that as well
Yep.
I'll make a page with a hyperlink to it to make it easier for people. But is there, you know what, say the thing one more time because I know it's kind of long, so go ahead and say it one more time.
It is really long. It's chipin.com/send us to Tampa /Oakwood-Beach-Rescue-Fund.
And then they can donate right there. Or
Yep.
And then Kelly also had StatenIslandRelief.org. And what I'm going to do is I have a list of a couple of the emergency shelters that I know of. If you know of any others, Tracy, let me know. Send them to me on Facebook, and I'll put together a page so that people can at least have an idea of where they can go for some information if they want to try to get it. Because, I mean, the government doesn't do this. Look, having been a firefighter myself, I could tell you how inefficient the government itself is. The people like the firefighters and the police themselves, they step up and take care of business like their training kicks in. They know what they're doing. But the bureaucrats that have the control of the money supply when it comes to these kind of things, they have no idea how to handle situations like this.
Yes, and it's funny, too. I mean, it's not even funny. It's almost... it's disgusting is what it is. Like, they had the big telethon, like, for, relief in New York City so people could donate to the Red Cross and get the relief out to people. And even the Staten Island Borough president called out the Red Cross on mainstream media live, saying how inefficient and horrible they've been throughout this entire thing. And, I expect to see a severe decline in Red Cross donations in the future because they're clearly not doing their job.
Well, I pissed a lot of people off when the storm first hit, and I said on Facebook and on Twitter, because I saw a lot of people saying, donate money to the Red Cross, and I went out there and I started screaming, no, find local charities, do not donate to the Red Cross. So I immediately got attacked with, you don't care about the hurricane victims? I'm like, no, idiot, I care about them. That's why I don't want you to donate to the Red Cross, because I know they're not going to spend any of the money. And look, perfect. They do this every time, except now there's social media, and now more people are aware to be, are awake to what to look for. So when it happens, they go, hey, wait a minute. Where's the blankets? I don't want hot cocoa. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, it's just almost, it's like comical. It really is. The thing that bothered me the most a little, like, when I first started, I was posting about the storm, and I was getting some people posting, like, nonsense that really didn't really mean anything at that point in time. And then getting angry when I was saying, listen, I just appreciate if we could keep this based on the relief efforts and try and keep it, focused. People were getting angry at me for it. I know everybody doesn't live here, and I know everybody doesn't necessarily understand, but a little bit of couth and tact would be nice and appreciated as people, lose their entire lives to the storm. They don't necessarily want to call the White House and talk about Benghazi. They want to talk about what's going on in their own backyard.
Well, I find it very telling that the mainstream media took forever to even mention Staten Island at all.
Yep. And Long Island as well. We got rocked by this. The town of Long Beach on the South Shore of Long Island, where a number of my friends live, is gone. I mean, almost the entire town. So, I'm focusing on Staten Island right now because a lot of my friends have taken on, the local areas around here, and no one really stepped up for Staten Island. But it's everywhere. It's not just there. I mean, there's chaos everywhere. It's really sad.
Well, we got a few minutes left. What parts of New York do you know of that are decimated?
Port Jefferson on the North Shore of Long Island, Long Beach, Island Park. My uncle lives on the bay, and he didn't lose his house, but his neighbor's house literally floated into the ocean. All of the South Shore towns that are west more towards Manhattan, and a number of the North Shore towns that got stuck with a 15-foot storm surge or a 16-foot storm surge. Because if you look at Long Island, you can see the North Shore, the Long Island Sound at the top. It's like almost like pouring water into a bowl, and there's no place for it to go. So there's no outlet for that water. So once that storm surge came around, it just hit the wall of land and then pushed back out to sea. So it was almost like if you were pushing a push broom and you took a puddle and you pushed this large amount of water up against the wall. What is it going to do? It's going to destroy what's behind the wall. So that's what we're dealing with here. And then this nor'easter that's coming doesn't make us any more optimistic either.
Yeah, you guys have a nor'easter coming in, right?
On Wednesday. Yeah, it's supposed to be bad, 40 and 50 mile per hour winds. Not tropical in nature, but a nor'easter nonetheless. And anytime there's one of those up here, it's bad news for us. And now...
Yeah, nor'easters are no good to begin with. And then, on top of having the place just smashed like that, no good.
No. And it's almost, I don't want to get into all conspiracy or anything either necessarily right now, but hello, it's a little bit too...
Oh, I know. The storm by itself does have a lot of earmarks of being controlled and everything, but I didn't want to... I've been trying to focus on the victims and what actually happened and the devastation so that we can avert a Katrina-style scenario. See, by you guys doing what's going on, you're taking the fuel away from the fire. See, the government always allows things to happen and things to boil over, and then they come in with their armed troops, and we got to arrest people and blah, 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 blah. See, the people coming out and helping out, that's going to diffuse the problem. Tracy, we're out of time. I want you to plug your radio show really quick, because I know you and Danny are doing a radio show, like you said, which came from the idea that you guys we had live on air together. So go ahead and plug the radio show.
Yes, it's Wednesday. Thank you. It's Wednesdays on Blog Talk Radio. It's called Ragamuffin Radio, the evolution of the Liberty Movement. So you guys can check us out 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on Wednesdays.
Awesome.
Thank you.
And ladies and gentlemen, I urge you to check out their broadcast. If you can't get it live, check out the archives. I really, really enjoy their broadcast. That's why I gave them the idea, and I'm so excited that they actually ran with it. It's awesome. All right, we're going to break. Ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with hour number 2 here on tonight's live edition of Down the Rabbit Hole. It is November 4th, 2012. I'm your host, Popeye from FederalJack.com. First hour, you heard from Kelley live on the ground, boots on the ground, literally ground zero in Staten Island, and Tracy Diaz over in Long Island. Both awesome ladies. Thank you both for coming on. And as I said, StatenIslandRelief.org. Go there and donate. And if you want to donate to the thing that Tracy put together for the other section, the title of the article on Federal Jack is, I've been a busy little beaver. It is, let's see, a letter from Hurricane Sandy victims on Staten Island. So just go right to federaljack.com. It's the first article under featured news. It's right at the top. I'll leave it up there for another day. And check it out. It's literally right under featured news, the first one. It says, a letter from Hurricane Sandy victims on Staten Island. Click it. In there, when you open it up, you'll click on it. It opens up. You'll see it says in big blue letters, click here to donate to Oakwood Beach Rescue Fund. If you click on that, it's a hyperlink right to Tracy's chip-in. So those two ways that if you can't physically get there and help out, which I urge you to do if you're in the vicinity, that would be much better. But if you can't, and you're in California or you're in Washington State or Idaho, wherever, Texas, wherever, and Florida, Hawaii, another country, and if you want to help out, then go to either StatenIslandRelief.org or go over to, you can go to Federal Jack. And I posted a letter from Tracy, and it says, a letter from Hurricane Sandy victims on Staten Island. And in there, you'll see the link to the, as I said, the link to the chip-in that she's put together for the other section that she's been working, trying to donate money to help fund bringing food and supplies and stuff too. And again, big blue letters, it says, click here to donate to Oakwood Beach Rescue Fund. So I urge everybody, even if it's $5, whatever, you heard Danny Panzella, don't give to the Red Cross. If you know your family is going to give to the Red Cross, if your family's like, I want to donate $100 to help these people. I used to live in the North. We got to help them. Okay, Dad, but don't donate to the Red Cross. Well, why? The Red Cross is a a right organization. No. Don't, just play them back the broadcast from the first hour. The archives will be up on Orion soon. So you can pull the 32K archive, and I'll have the 128K one up on YouTube within the next day or so. Pull the archives, play them the first hour. You can hear the people on the ground right now that are not getting any help from the Red Cross. You heard Kelly; she was in a car talking to me on a cell phone, right? Amidst all this destruction, she's sitting there, and as she's sitting there, the Red Cross truck comes by her. Ooh, would you like some hot chocolate? I mean, really? Really? Where's the blankets? And I didn't want to yell and scream or try to go off on a rant or anything because I was trying to give them the floor. That's why I just let that go. But Kelly made a good point on her own. So I gave her the floor. Where are the blankets? How come you're bringing hot chocolate? And this is obviously what people in the vicinity that are going through this crap are feeling. And I said this the other day when, I don't remember, it was either the 28th or the 29th. I was one of the two broadcasts because I did a broadcast on both days. One of those 2 days, I said if you donate to the Red Cross, they're going to F you and they're not going to, or in fact, I think I might have said it in both, that they're not going to help the people. The money is not going to go. It was when Mike Vail was on me, so it was that Sunday. And look, the money's not going to them. Do you see them bringing blankets? If the money was going to these people, don't you think the blankets would be rolling in by the truckload, right? George Takei and all these other stars are saying, please, donate to the Red Cross because they're doing what they think is right? So they tell people to donate to the Red Cross. And then they think, wow, we were able to help, get this money for them. But the Red Cross and all these people donate thinking, oh, we got this money for them. But none of that's going to help these people. They're saying right on the street, you got, like you heard Kelly say, the police, the firefighters, the local citizens, a pastor at a church, they're all like, F the Red Cross. We want nothing to do with them anymore. They don't care about anybody. Where's all the money that they're getting donated, to them? How come it hasn't come to us? We've seen this before. Look how they handled funds for the Haiti victims. Look at how remember Bill Clinton and remember George Bush? I played the clip when Vail was on with me. Just send your cash. Remember that? Don't send your cash. Do what's going on. Look, a week later, and look what's going on. People are stepping up to the plate, right? You got We Are Change going out there. You got Occupy Wall Street. Again, helping out a lot of people that are NYPD. They don't care. They're helping them out. Months before, some of these guys could have been beating the crap out of these very same people. And here these people are setting that aside and saying, no, we need to show you some humanity and some love. That's how things get changed, ladies and gentlemen. That's how you handle it. This destroys the New World Order crap. The government, whether they create the disaster or not, to a certain extent, for this argument, we'll say, is irrelevant. But for the grander scheme of things, it's not. But whether they created it or it was some weird, kooky, natural, happenstance, does not really matter. It's their reaction to it, and it's inaction. And it was the same thing with Katrina. It really, if you look at it, it's the same thing, except Katrina got out of hand because a lot of people didn't know what to do. They were shutting things down. There was a lot of flooding. See, what really destroyed things in Katrina was the flooding, and that wasn't the hurricane. That was when they blew the levees. I know people think that the levees cracked on their own, but I don't really believe that, especially when you have a lot of people saying, like in the lower Ninth Ward, saying that they heard explosions and they heard them dynamiting the levees. So whatever, that's another topic. But I could foresee that they could try to create another scenario where they could have this. I don't want to say apocalyptic, but like this horrific event, just like Katrina, with all these people, 40,000 people displaced, right, that are going to need homes, where are they going to need to put them? What are they going to do with them? So I could foresee them trying to create this scenario where they say, well, maybe we can put them in camps, or maybe there's unrest. Maybe, you heard Kelly say there was a fist fight between people for gas. You can see the tension is rising. The question is, why aren't the supplies getting in? Oh, well, there's logistical issues. Bullshit. There isn't a logistical issue to make things run on a normal basis. So why is there a logistical issue now? Well, we didn't plan for it. That's another lie. That's another lie. I'm going to tell you, they have plans for this type of stuff. Come on. For them to say and if they didn't have plans for it, then they should all be fired, because you're spending way too much money on terrorism and worrying that the fake boogeyman in the closet, as opposed to a real issue like a storm coming in and actually effing the city up. So obviously whoever handles training and stuff should be fired, right? I mean, that's what I'm getting from this. If that's their excuse. Look, they have plans for all this stuff. So why would you not shut a certain amount of traffic down to the city, right? And just funnel in gasoline tankers and stuff, bring it in from outside areas. Why are union workers turning away non-union workers in New Jersey to fix things? Oh, yeah. Government and these little organizations create problems. We're going to break. We'll be right back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. All right. What was I talking about when we went into break? I was telling you a few things. I was telling you to donate to Red Cross. Not to donate to the Red Cross. Right? I was telling you to donate to the local area charities. I was telling you about the fact that people are being blocked from going in, right? Because I said, I urge you to get up and do stuff, right? If you're an electrician, you're this, you're that. I urge you to go in. I urge you to do your thing, help out. If you're a power company, you do line work. You work with electric companies, whatever. However you guys work it, but you know how to do it on the back end. That's what you guys do. Do it. I'm just putting the idea out there. So, and I've been preaching that for the, past week now. I've been talking about this on air. So, they're going to break. I made a comment, right? I said, the unions, I made a comment that they were kicking out non-unionized workers coming in to help out. And I've seen people try to poo-poo this and say it's not true, but unfortunately it is. At least in New Jersey, they're kicking out, let me read you the article. It's titled, it's from RT. New Jersey kicks out Sandy volunteers because they aren't unionized. So don't bother the fact that they're going to come in and they're trying to throw some humanity. Nope, unions got to step in, right? So here, utility workers from across the U.S. are descending on the northeastern states left ravaged by Superstorm Sandy. But some volunteers making the trek are being told they can't pitch in since they don't belong to a union. Now, I've seen this before. According to a report published late Thursday by WAFF News out of Seaside Heights, crews coming to assist all the way from Alabama's Decatur utilities were turned away because they aren't unionized, despite making the 800-mile jaunt to lend a hand. WAFF quotes Decatur worker Derek Moore, who tells the network that he and his colleagues are, quote, frustrated being told, in essence, thanks but no thanks, end quote. Left with nothing to do in New Jersey, Moore and other members of the Decatur team are reportedly waiting in Roanoke, Virginia, to see if Seaside Heights authorities will change their mind. Meanwhile, though, millions of residents up and down the East Coast remain without power, and a powerful tropical storm downed power lines and flooded streets from North Carolina to New England. According to the latest I can't read tonight. According to the latest figures available early Friday, the death toll from the Frankenstorm may already be close to hitting 100, and recovery efforts are expected to continue for weeks, if not months. Like I said, this is going to have a huge ripple effect. At the same time, though, things may be off to a slower start in New Jersey if non-unionized volunteers are refused any further. Now, I was talking about this off air with Kelly, and before we had come on air, I asked her a question. That's why I had kind of brought up the fact about what she thought about the Agenda 21 thing, because I didn't want to get too far into that aspect of it. I just wanted to get the raw, on the ground truth out there. And I was actually surprised to hear that everybody around there, a lot of people are like, yeah, a lot of people are pretty much, they don't even want to go back. So, effect had, and if anybody wants to know why they would engineer a storm and steer it in, there's your effect. But here you have the government, another example of how the government, Seaside Heights, won't allow non-unionized workers in. Right, so are you in a union? No. Well, then you can't come in and fix our problems. And it's like, okay, look, I know you have maybe a thing with the union or whatever, but for real, your city is decimated. You're throwing people out, which that leads me back to the Agenda 21 thing, by the way, because they're throwing people out of their houses in what do you call it? Seaside. There's like 7 different. It's either 7 or 8. Let me open the article here, and I can tell you exactly how many. It's 7 different Ocean County communities. The article's up on Federal Jack. It's titled Hurricane Sandy Update. Local residents banned from Barrier Island up to 8 months. So you have, and some of these are seaside, like, Seaside Heights, South Seaside Park. So you won't let the utility workers in to fix stuff, but you're going to throw the residents out. You're going to literally tell the residents you got 5 minutes to pack a bag, which is what they did. They came in, knocked on doors, and they went, and people said, yes, hello. And they said, yes, you have 5 minutes. Pack your bags, get whatever you can in a bag, and get out. And they said, what about the rest of our stuff? We'll let you come back with armed escorts to get the rest of your stuff at a later date. So that's nice. Most of their stuff will be destroyed because their windows will be open or something will get broken. So their computers, all their stuff will get, if that was left behind, destroyed. Their furniture, destroyed. So even if the storm didn't destroy their stuff, but then maybe there's just no gas, yeah, don't worry. Looters and anything else will take care of that. So they're setting up a situation for mass looting, by the way. Do you see how they're creating the issue? And the only thing the thing that's killing this issue that they're trying to create is the citizens coming out to help and take care of things. But they are trying. They're not coming in there and helping out. They're not bringing in blankets. They're not trucking in fuel. They should be bringing in fuel to these people. Why are they not bringing in fuel? Why? There is no answer you could give me to tell me why they can't bring fuel to these people. I grew up there. I know that area. I know how things work in an emergency. If you tell me you couldn't close down traffic to the city for a day, shut down inbound traffic to the city for a day. They did it before. They do it all the time. It's under martial law up there anyway, so what's the big deal? And that's something else I want to cover too, by the way. And I'm going to cover that in the other side of the break. Some people probably aren't going to like the way I'm going to cover it, but you know what? That's just too bad. People are going to get a bit of an education. I'm not coming off like an arrogant a-hole when I say that, but some people are just not going to like the way I'm going to come off about the whole martial law thing because it's being blown way out of proportion. But all that wouldn't even be needed if everybody just was allowed to. I mean, look, you have volunteers coming and going, hey, we're here. We're doing the right thing. We drove, from Georgia. There's people coming all the way over from the West Coast. Hey, we're here. We drove 2,000 miles. We're here to help out. We want to help put up, lines back up and get poles back up and get these people service. If everybody comes together, we could have this done in like a week or 2 weeks and everybody could have power. Oh, what? Oh, everybody's got to move out for 8 months? Why? Oh, but why? What's the real agenda? Is it Agenda 21? Are they going to tell them during that 8 months that all of a sudden the government has decided that they've surveyed the land and said there's no way that they could fix it, and due to the fact that there could be future hurricanes and future quote-unquote superstorms, that they're just going to give the land back to Mother Nature and let the storm do what it does to the land? and make it some sort of nature preserve. And then, of course, a superstorm will probably never, ever hit there again, conveniently. I mean, that's what I could foresee happening if you want to speculate a little bit. I don't want to go, too far down the road, because maybe they will let those people back. But why else would they not let? I mean, think about it. You're blocking the utility workers from coming in and fixing things. What purpose does that serve? Sounds kind of like with Hurricane Katrina, when companies were donating truckfuls of water. Literally, 53-foot trailers filled with nothing but bottled water. Turned away. No, we don't need that. Go away. Really? You don't need it? Why? Look at the response to the problem. Look at the response. StatenIslandRelief.org. Or go to Tracy's. It's over at Federal Jack. Under the featured stories section. We'll be right back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to cover the martial law thing, but I want to give out a list of stuff that they could use in Staten Island, and the name of another group, I guess you could say, or charity, whatever you want to call it. Let me look for the name here. Well, while I look for the name, I'll tell you right now, let's see, join Tribeca Park and 501c3 Beauty. Oh, it's Beauty Cares. That's the title of it. Okay. So join Tribeca Park and Beauty Cares in helping to relieve the hard-hit families of Staten Island. They are living in near squalor and hurting for the basic essentials. We will gather and deliver your tax-deductible donated goods and funds straight into the hands of those in the most need for the immediate relief. Okay, now, I'm going to give you guys a second. Get a pen and a piece of paper. And this was sent to me by one of my listeners. This is the relief fund that she knows of that's going on. And apparently somebody's finally picked it up out there, I guess. And they're promoting it out on Z100 FM in New York, which is a pretty big radio station out there. So that's cool. But get pens, and I'm going to tell you what they need for in terms of, they have a list of wants from the people on the ground, which is a good thing to have. They, during 9/11, when we were packing up supplies, we didn't want to, have someone say, well, I think this is what they need. No. We had people down at Ground Zero tell us what the rescue workers and everything needed, and then we would supply everything that they needed. We would, because there was a huge warehouse full of it. So we were able to literally send them exactly what they were, at least we were told they required, instead of just sending them, truckfuls of stuff and then half of it be useless garbage. So, all right, by now you should have pens and paper, something to write on. I'm going to give you a list. For infants, they need blankets, formula, wipes, bottles, diapers, hats, mittens, strollers, etc. Pretty much anything that you would consider something to be one of the basics of having an infant child. Let's see, food, bread, fresh fruit, and pre-made sandwiches would be the best, because there isn't, if you bring something they need to cook on, it's kind of hard. Bread, they can kind of eat the bread, obviously. And fresh fruit's always good. It lasts a few days. Pre-made sandwiches are cool. Maybe you go to Publix or something, or you guys don't have Publix up there. Up there would be like Food Town or A&P or something. Go to like the deli or wherever. Go to the deli section of your local area. Maybe go to a local deli and say, hey, look, would you like to work in conjunction? Maybe donate some food to the affected people, blah, 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 blah. Most people are good people, and if you talk to them, they will. And if they don't, well, then the person's a scumbag, and you can handle that later. All right, moving on. Clothing. Hats, gloves, coats, boots, new Hanes underwear, new socks, tees, and all ages. So T-shirts from kids all the way up, and same thing with socks and underwear and everything. They're gonna need all that stuff. A lot of people lost everything they own, and it's cold up there now. It's cold. It's winter time up north, so it's cold. So Jenny, if you're in the South and you have boxes of clothes that you don't need anymore, if you have gloves and stuff, find a local charity. Find out where you can mail it to. Again, go to StatenIslandRelief.org. Go to Kelly's website, check it out. Mail them the clothes. I mean, if you want to donate money, that's fine. But if you can mail, if you live in Florida, per se, like say you live in South Florida, right? Well, I haven't used my winter clothes in 15 years. They're in a storage box, so, just in case I ever go up north. You know what? You haven't used them in 15 years, right? So the chances of you going up north are slim to none. If you do go up north, well, then you can buy a pair of gloves. How about you take the stuff that's been sitting in storage for 15 years with mothballs in it, okay? And how about you take the box full of that stuff and go to StatenIslandRelief.org, see where you can send, look on there, contact them if you have to. Find out where you can send clothes and stuff to. And send clothes, send socks, send underwear. Believe me, it makes a big difference when you have a fresh pair of undies and a fresh pair of socks. You can get through, hell a lot of times. Believe it or not, you can get through a lot if you have a clean pair of socks and a clean pair of underwear. It helps you. It's amazing the little comfort things that help you get through. Okay, moving on. Hygiene items like toothpaste. Please don't send fluoridated toothpaste. I know, just go out and find at least a fluoride-free toothpaste. You don't have to make them toothpaste, but just go get like Tom's of Maine fluoride-free toothpaste, all right? At least there's no fluoride in it. So anyway, toothpaste, toothbrushes. Don't get them the power toothbrushes and people think, I know you might want to buy them all power brushes. I mean, if they're battery operated, that's fine, but then you're going to have to buy batteries for it too, and then you're going to have to hope that the batteries get to them to go with the toothbrushes. So just buy them regular handheld toothbrushes for right now. It's just an emergency thing. This isn't a forever thing. They can buy that crap later. So toothpaste, toothbrushes, shampoo, conditioner, soap, feminine hygiene products, razors, etc. Pet supplies, dry and canned food, dog and cat both. Okay, so if you for cats, they can settle with dry food. If someone says, well, my peacock, she doesn't like, she only likes wet food. Well, look, lady, right now the cat will figure out that either it eats the dry food or it dies. It'll figure it out real quick. So if you have dry food, you can donate that, but wet food too, if you can do it. And dog food. Now, dogs, I would say if you can do a lot of wet dog food, that would be awesome. If there's a dog food company out there, maybe somebody can get a hold of Nutramax or whatever company it is that does that. They're a pretty healthy dog food company. Get a hold of them and say, hey, look, maybe, it would be good PR for you guys to donate a couple truckloads of this, wet dog food and dry dog food. Reach out to companies like that. You never know. What's the worst they could say is no? Okay, well, then they said no, moving on. And then again, you can deal with that later if you want to call them out and whatever. But the least they could say is that the worst they could say to you is no. And at least you could say, well, I tried, as opposed to, man, I should have done this. I should have done that. No, step up and do it. And the people in the areas that are affected in Jersey and that they won't let the non-unionized workers come in, you people need to handle your city council and your mayor and everything. You need to deal with that and you need to handle that ASAP because that ain't right. You guys are getting tossed out of your homes. Don't be fooled. Pay attention to the bigger agenda. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Litter, pet food. We're on pet supplies. Dry canned cat food, litter, cat litter. If litter pans, don't get them the crappy ones. Just give them the dry litter box trays if you can. That's fine. Those are good. The plastic ones, they're pretty cheap. Hamster and bird food. If anybody's hamster and bird food, that would be awesome. But again, maybe contact different pet supply places, pet food companies. See what we can do. Let's see, cleaning supplies. They're definitely going to need heavy-duty garbage bags. If anybody got a Costco up there or a BJ's or something, go get the boxes of the leaf bags, the lawn and leaf bags, those heavy-duty mother effers, those. Use them. They're going to need 409 and or Formula 401, not 409, whatever the hell it is, 401, whatever the frick that stuff is called, the you know what I'm talking about, the all-purpose cleaner, rubber gloves, Windex, paper towels, that kind of stuff. Batteries of all sizes, D batteries, AA, AAA, C batteries, whatever. Just bring it, batteries. And we can always, there's different flashlights of multiple sizes that you could fit to, find to fit the batteries. And bring flashlights too. Tons of flashlights. If you guys if there's people out there, a company, maybe you get a hold of Maglite or Energizer or whatever. Flashlights. They're going to need flashlights. Okay, blankets. I couldn't stress that enough. How about anybody in the vicinity? Maybe you guys can get a hold of hotels or something, see if you guys can work something out. Try to talk to the hotel owner. Maybe you could do a charity thing because, that's a tax-deductible thing, whatever. Maybe they can donate some rooms to some people for a few days. I don't know. It's freezing cold. Help people. If you have to take them inside your car for a little while and, do more than give them a friggin' cup of hot chocolate. Bring blankets. Do what you got to do. People, if you have room in your houses, house these people. We got to do what we got to do, okay? So check it out. It's Beauty Cares in Staten Island. Beauty Cares. And StatenIslandRelief.org. Go to Federal Jack. You can see Tracy's letter right underneath the featured articles. You could donate there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Final segment of tonight's episode. Make sure you tune in to Joe Joseph and Tim Watts. They have John Hankey on tonight. John is an awesome guest, and he's going to be hanging out with them discussing the death of JFK Jr. I promise you it will be the most excellent broadcast indeed. So make sure you stay tuned in from 7 to 9, and then after that, just stay tuned in for Ken, because he'll be on from 9 to 11. And Ken always brings his A game. So Ken's just Ken. He doesn't need any more of an introduction than that. Ken is Ken. If anybody's ever heard him, you know what I'm talking about. So tune in for the Information Nation, 9 to 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you might as well stay tuned in for the next 4 hours. Just leave Orion Talk Radio on, put it on your smartphone. You have TuneIn, right? You can go take your phone. If you got an Android or an iPhone, go to TuneIn, go to your little app store, whatever you call it, Google App Crap, whatever it's called. Go there, right? Look it up. TuneIn Radio. Boom, download it. Once you download it, look up the Orion Talk Radio Network, put it in there, bam, you'll see us pop up, save us as a favorite, and then whenever you got to go mobile, plug your phone in, put your headphones on, walk around, do whatever you got to do. I listen to the stream that way a lot. It's pretty much what I use my smartphone for, is to use pretty much that app. I know it sounds weird, but I only use it for two things. I use it for my GPS currently, and I use it for that smartphone app. And I'll tell you what, it works great. You can listen to everything, comes through nice and clear. So no excuse not to listen to us. And by the way, now we're in Ford Sync cars, or Ford cars. They have that Ford Sync thing inside the radio, whatever. You can listen to us there too, so check it out. All right. I promised last segment that I was going to get into this about the martial law thing, and I wanted to get out the list of the supplies that people need up there. So that was more important, I felt, getting that at least out on the airwaves first, and then I can get into this. I've talked about the disinfo before that's out there, right? I've talked about people during the hurricane, they were putting up photoshopped pictures left and right, stills from the day after tomorrow, saying, oh my God, New York is underwater. Now, I know it's bad. I know the reality of the situation is bad. I was here when Kelly was speaking. I was here when Tracy was speaking. I didn't, not listen to them. I paid attention. I know that there is death and destruction, but it wasn't the day after tomorrow level of destruction. Okay, it wasn't the entire island of Manhattan was gone and that everybody on the island was dead. It wasn't to that extreme. And that was the images and stuff that people were pushing out there, okay, during the storm. And even after the storm, there was a lot of disinfo images being pushed out, sharks swimming up the streets and stuff that were images taken in Puerto Rico from years before. So there was a lot of garbage out there. Well, today, now, there's an image from Hurricane Katrina floating around on Facebook, and multiple people I've seen pushing this out there. A few of them in particular are like just over the top and, oh my God, martial law. Look, it's already with people. They're reporting martial law in parts of New Jersey, and oh my God, look, here's a picture. And they took a picture of a SWAT team riding on one of their little SWAT trucks, their armored personnel carriers, during the aftermath, I should say, of Hurricane Katrina. Now, first of all, anybody that looks at the picture would know right off the bat when you look at the photo, the people in the photo are like wearing like day dresses, like sundresses, shorts, T-shirts. It's November in the Northeast. If you don't know about anything about November in the Northeast, you know that those clothes, those people would all be in the fetal position, freezing their asses off. They wouldn't be just lollygagging around in the, in the cold like that. So that's one. Two, that picture, it's a well-known Hurricane Katrina shot. Okay, it's a very well-known Hurricane Katrina shot, and this is exactly what happens. People, it's infotainment. It's infotainment. This is really one of the reasons I've stepped back with posting, fresh, new breaking news stories every day. A lot of times I'll wait until the story's a week or 2 weeks old and then I'll post it because I post it up so people can see it. But I'm trying to take myself, and this has affected the viewership hits-wise to Federal Jack, and not a good way, in a negative way. I dropped in a position, but you know what? At the end of the day, that's not what this is about. So I had to decide. I had to take a step back, and I have to reevaluate this whole thing with the news cycle, infotainment thing, because I don't want to be a part of something that people are. Putting out tons of disinfo and garbage and stuff, right? So I wanted to, not me, and I'm not quitting or anything. So I just wanted to take myself out of that cycle. I didn't want to be part of that, every day when I would post a brand new article, it's the same thing that everybody else is posting. I didn't want to be part of that anymore because I realized I was becoming part of this infotainment cycle. And I don't want that. That's not why I got into this to begin with. That's not what I'm about. And, Federal Jack still gets updated with articles and stuff, but as you can tell, there are sometimes maybe one or two things that might be brand new and maybe somebody else has posted, but most of the time, as of late, I have really curtailed that to pretty much by about, at least I would say 90 to 95%. And it's because this stuff gets pushed out there and you see people enough for whatever reason they're pushing it, whether they're COINTEL, pro-op, whatever. They're pushing a lot of garbage instead of going out and finding, people on the ground like I did, right? And talking to these two ladies tonight on air about the realistic situation as to what's going on the ground. And I talked to Kelly the other day about this, and I made a comment on Facebook. I went off and I talked about this on air, and Kelly and I were chatting about it, and she agrees that there's the reality and then there's the sensationalistic BS, and it's not needed because that takes away from what's really going on. And I think that does a disjustice and disservice to anybody that's really affected by this, because now you're trying to make some flamboyant crap. Oh my God, martial law. And look, there's a lot of people running around saying martial law has been declared. Holy crap. So people understand something really quick, because we only got a few minutes left. Whenever there's an event like this, martial law is declared. This isn't FEMA camp type martial law. Okay, it could get, if it got out of hand and they wanted to push it and continue, it could get to that extent. Yeah, anything could continue. But martial law itself, this happens every time there's a hurricane. Okay, after 9/11, there was martial law for like at least a week. If I remember correctly, it was about a week at least, if not longer, maybe about a month. But martial law was all over the city. Around parts of Jersey, it was martial law. People just don't remember that. They were just remember seeing guys with guns and stuff, but they thought it was, for our safety because terrorists could be on the corner. Remember when they had the 82nd Airborne? One of my friends, 82nd Airborne, guarding the George Washington Bridge. What do you think that was? That was martial law. That's what martial law is. Okay? So this happens a lot where they declare martial law after a storm. And for people to be running around going, oh my God, it's martial law, the FEMA camps, you're going to rile people up and there's already people that are emotional. Look, you heard Kelly say there was fistfights at the gas station. Why would you want to rile things up and get things out of control? It's not that level of martial law. They don't have UN troops coming in. This is a normal thing that goes on in an area affected. I've lived through hurricanes. This happens all the time down here. I said this the other day. Remember I said on air that they were going to enact curfews and all that stuff? What do you think I was talking about? I said that we were under martial law for a period of time down here. Did you think I was kidding? No, I was serious. And it's pissing me off that people are running around out there going screaming at the top of their lungs, it's martial law. Stop. Come on. A little bit of research would show you that this happens a lot. This isn't the FEMA camp roundup, red list, blue list thing. And people need to educate themselves. This is why I always urge you all to educate yourselves, okay? So that when you see what goes on, when you see something happening, you don't freak out. Just because you're educated, if you only know the surface part, right? You don't know the deeper, total understandings of things. That's why I try to go into detail with things, and I could be annoying about it at times. But I do that because if you have a deeper understanding of things, then you won't freak out when you see things like this. Trust me, if there was something going on bad, if martial law, UN roundups, all this crap was going on, don't you think that I would be the first person on air? I would have called Jimmy and been like, we're taking over the airwaves right now. We would have booted whatever was on, and we would have grabbed whatever host we could, and we'd be on air talking about it. This is normal type instance. I know it's weird to hear me say normal and martial law in the same sentence, but it's the truth. This happens after every storm. And people need to stop running around. There's really bad shit going on, and for people to be running around right now, amping things up over, unnecessarily is wrong. It's not cool to do it for ratings no matter who you are, okay? I don't care. And there's a couple of them. Some people are just YouTubers. You know who you are. This isn't about that. And you know what? The reason why I won't name them is because I'm not going to make it about them. I'm sending out a message. You know who you are. Because there's multiple people doing it. If you really care about the people, then let's help them out. Go there if you can, or donate. Go to StatenIslandRelief.org. Go to federaljack.com. Right underneath the featured stories sections, you'll see the letter from Tracy. It says a letter from Hurricane Sandy victims or something like that. It's right at the top. It's the first thing. I'll leave it right there. Click on that, and in there's the link to the donation thing that she set up. Or you can go check out the other one, which I don't have in front of me. I said before, the one when I was listing all of the supplies and everything they need. Go check it out. There's 3 different organizations. Do what you can. Help these people out. I'm out of here.